up? What's up? What's up? Welcome
What's up?
to the Get Rich 101 featuring Rev Mel, Melissa.
Hey.
Hey. And that's what we do on Wednesdays. We talk about money and everything else that inspires us. So I want to shout out to New Thought Media Network for giving me the encouragement to grow. And let's get into it. Let's get into it, right? Let's get into it. Oh, I wanted to. This is where I'm laughing. I want you guys to show you the cat. It's the cat. You see the cat right here? Right here. Right here, just chilling. Just chilling. He's just chilling right next to me.
He is so cute, Nelson.
Nelson. All right, folks. So, what are we talking about today? I saw you reading. I was like, she reading something. What she got? What she got?
It's not related to the show.
Okay.
It's not related to the show.
All right, then in that case, I'm going to tell you about what I was doing last night. I was escorting B King to her what's that? What do I call it? Wednesday hosting. It's like she gathers all these women together and talks to them about different things. And this is the first time I've gone and say, like, I travel with her to make sure she gets there. There's New York buses and trains. I travel with her, but this is the first time I say it because it was so complicated getting there. I was like, I'm gonna have to stay and check it out. So anyway, we got there. I mean, we just arrived, right? And Fee is saying hello to the woman who's running the joint. And the woman says, this is the first thing she says. She says, Sekou? I was like, what? What? And I was like, yeah, Sekou. She's like, yeah, I know. She gave me a hug and everything. She's like, you used to be my boss. I was like, what? I used to be your boss? She's like, yeah, you used to be my boss at Uptown Magazine. And I was like, wow.
That is back in the day.
Yeah. And I was like, I hope I was a good boss. She was like, yeah, you were good. I was like, woo. Because I didn't recall it at all, But it's so funny to me that I've got all these lives on top of lives on top of lives, all stacked. Because it also, I got to get this out. We left there. We're walking to the train. Now, this is way up 160th Street on the east side. Yeah. And I'm walking, and then I cross paths with another woman. She's like, Sekou. I was like, what is happening? And she's Celeste Beatty. She runs a beer. She's Harlem Sugar Hill. She runs Sugar Hill, the beer company. Wow, that's great. So she was telling me, you know, all these things that I used to do. Wow, that's really cool. So anyway, I just had to get that.
And did it spark memories coming back?
Yes, it did. And I remembered other things about her. I remembered that I had her as a liquor sponsor at one of my events. And one of my events, the BMW party, and I was like, who just has a BMW party? Like, who does that? Me, apparently. I was like, wow, that's really crazy.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So how did all of that? How did that cause you to feel?
It caused me to feel great. I felt great. I was like, I was worried that I wasn't a good boss, but I was happy that she said I was a good boss and that I was considered a boss. Like, I was considered a boss in this period of life that I don't really remember.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about what I can do. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but what can't I do? What can't I do? I had a party with BMW in Manhattan. I had a party like me, just me. I'm like, no motivation, nothing. No, just me. I'm like, what in the world?
You had many though, Sekou. There were many. Like there would be these events and the car would be inside the event.
Mm, mm.
You had step and repeats, you had a red carpet, you had it was a thing. Yes,
I must have been,
many,
I must have been a bad boy making that.
many. And I wish you could find all the stories you wrote about your time at Uptown Magazine.
Oh,
I wish you could find all those stories.
it's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. I used to write about Uptown Magazine. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna find that.
You have to find those stories.
All right.
Those stories will give me life every single time you would share one of those stories.
Oh
with me.
wow. Oh wow. That's great. So you know what that says to me? That says that I have enough content. I have enough content that I can go back. I can go
Yes.
back and publish my old content, which is what I did with Hack Your Pain Now.
Yes.
I went back because I could not write, could
Right.
not could barely read. I put that book out, and the book is doing well. People are like, oh, this is good, this is good, this is great. And you're gonna, what do you say you're gonna do with the book?
Oh, we're going to do a book study. Hack Your Pain Now. Book
What?
study coming up in May.
What?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, and all this for a book that I did not plan on publishing, that I did not plan on publishing, that I had from the past. And so I'm gonna have to start exploring the past and publishing the past, because I've got all these stories,
Yes, you would collect stories. You had a podcast. One of your podcasts, you incorporated stories into them.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So that's still right there.
Yeah. I just figured out how to get into my podcast like yesterday or the day before. Like just now I discovered how to get into my podcast. I got into Get Rich 101 and also Sacred Rights podcast. And Sacred Rights podcast is doing nothing. But Get Rich 101 is still bouncing. It's still doing stuff. It's still
But the Sekou podcast, that's the podcast that you would write, that you would not write, that you would talk about your adventures.
Wow. Well, I need to listen to it then.
You need to listen to them. Yeah, there's some good stories in there.
Okay. Okay.
So Sekou, I was trying, because I can't find the paper. I was trying to remember last week we were talking about money, and we were talking about how the stock market is always open, even when we think it's closed.
Yes.
And then that triggered something.
Yeah.
And then we ran out of time. And I said, I'll write it down so I don't forget.
Right. But you just got it though. You just got it though. Because after the show in the green room, you were talking about the stock market is still open. And I was like, yes, the stock market is still open. So the fact that it was still open triggered you. Let me just explain this to people.
Yes.
The stock market on various fields, like Robinhood, like Webull, like different aspects, shows the stock market in different ways. Right. So on Webull, I just happened to notice that part of the background for the candlesticks was gray. I just noticed it. Didn't think anything of it. But then I looked online. I looked at Webull online, and I noticed that it didn't show. It didn't show the gray part. And then I was wondering what that was, and then I realized that is showing me what the movements of the stock market when the market is closed. And I thought, oh, okay, so it's letting me get warmed up. But then I had David on. Great interview. If you haven't watched my interview with David, go back and watch it. It was amazing. But he said he was talking about trading in the pre-market. And I was like, pre-market? You mean in the gray? In the gray area? He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, that must be for high people like David. Like David's multimillionaire. Like it must be for people like that. He's like, no. He's like, you can too. I was like, nah. I was trying to push it away, but then I estimated and I tried it, and I was able to buy and sell from the market while the market was closed, and I was like, what? What? And so that's what we were talking about.
Yes, and what that triggered for me, so you know me, I see most things through a spiritual lens. And what that triggered for me is how we're always open, just like just like the stock market.
Mhm.
Our consciousness is always
Okay, that's interesting.
open.
Okay.
It's always open. And like the stock market, if you play in the stock market, if you invest in the stock market, you compound, right? Your money compounds.
Okay.
Just like our consciousness compounds,
Uh-oh.
right? So it's like we build interest in the things that we are interested in.
Mm.
That's what it triggered for me. So even when we think, because I'm thinking on the weekends, I'm thinking, and I think most of the world thinks that before 9:30 and after 4:30, the stock market is closed.
Yes.
You can't do anything.
Yes. Over the weekend, no less.
Right. Over the weekend, on holidays, the whole shebang.
And this is when
But
I trade. This is when I
right.
trade. Yeah.
But who knows that?
Who knows? Who knows? I
The
was shocked.
average person doesn't know that
I was
because
shocked.
they make such a production
Yeah.
of the opening bell
Yeah.
and the closing bell.
Yep.
Well, what y'all opening and closing if it's never closed?
Right. It was a shock to me. It was a shock to me. And then when he first started talking about it, he said, I'm gonna show you how to, he calls it something different, but weekend hustle. And I was like, how is he gonna hustle the stock market over the weekend?
When it's
Now that's all
closed,
I do
right?
when it's closed. And that's all I do. That's all I do specifically. Buy it on Friday, sell it on Monday. Boom. That's it. Yeah.
Yes. And so that is still like, I guess, formulating in my mind that is such a reflection of our consciousness. Our consciousness is never closed.
Yeah. So we found
Oh, wonderful.
David, and she put it up there for those of you that can't find it or want to find it. But that was so good. So I messed it up because it wasn't on StreamYard. I did it on Zoom, and so I didn't know what to do with Zoom. So it didn't
Uh,
do well, but the content is beautiful. And David, by the way, was important to me because he he was also on something also happened to him. Something also happened to him. He had I don't want to get it wrong, but he had a very, very tragic moment, and he also turned to the stock market as a way to exit his
mm,
cash situation. Because for me, I was like, what do I do? Because people, I don't think you understand how big, how strong the bills came. Because
mm,
you know, now
mhm.
it's like just for every little thing without benefits, every little thing
Yes.
is
Yes.
so anyway.
Yes,
I won't get into
absolutely. So
it.
I'm going to check that out because I heard you mention him before, and then I was looking for it
Mm,
and I couldn't find it.
mm. This is it. This is it.
All
And
right.
you find no intro, no boom boom. My usual thing. Just all of a sudden, hey, David. So
Wait, so is it uploaded? Did you upload it on your YouTube channel
I
yet?
uploaded. I up. No, I uploaded it here. I showed it
Oh,
on StreamYard.
okay.
So it's here, but it's not. Doesn't have all the hip. The hip
Okay.
hop and
Okay. I
boom
got you.
and
I got you.
all the graphics around us. that we have
yeah.
right now, any of that. But the content, man, he really blew me away.
Yeah.
Really blew me away.
It's unplugged.
It's unplugged. Yes, it's unplugged. It's unplugged. I gotta do that again. I gotta do that again. Yeah.
So what else?
Oh,
What else about so
okay.
I haven't been
Let me just say he was pivoting from a brain injury. Yes, he was a brain injury.
uh
Yeah, yeah. That's what it was. Okay, go ahead.
I haven't I'm not as consistent with trading.
Hmm.
Um so I don't do it every single week.
Hmm.
And my preference is you told me swing trading. Swing
Swing trading. That's
swing
you.
trading.
That is you. That is you.
So I'm fine with waiting. So
Mm.
if I when I buy a stock or I buy fractional um, stocks, meaning it's less than a full share,
Mm.
and it goes down because I'll buy it going up,
Right.
and then sometimes I buy it and it goes down, and I was like,
Right.
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And down, 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 down,
Right.
and I don't sell.
Right.
I'll just hold on to it for however long it takes for it to go back up because eventually it will go back up. That's my that's how I think about
Right.
it.
Okay.
So I'm more patient with it that way
Mm.
versus buying, watching. That is unnerving for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And learning that from you, I learned that from you, and learning that from you expanded my approach because I was watching and waiting, watching and waiting. So I would try to trade the stocks at 9:30 when the stock market opens, between 9:30 and 9:45, in between the time that the show starts. And I would just try to fix it for then. I would look at it and sell it or buy it or sell, just try to do that something in that first few minutes.
Mhm.
But you got me what I call it? Booby trapping.
Booby traps.
I'm setting booby traps now. And so now, so now, in fact, matter of fact, last night while I was at the thing for Fee, and she's over there the next table interviewing the ladies, and they got the snaps going, they're doing all their
Mhm.
thing. I'm over there and I made $1.30 on on Forex. I on Forex now, which is different than stock market, but still, I was experimenting with Forex. I made $1. I made over $1 just like that. And what I did was, I set the timer. I set the timer, the booby trap,
Uh-huh.
the booby trap. And so this was my first time, my very first time setting a booby trap on Forex. I've been doing it on the stock market for a while because of you. And I was like, well, shoot, why apply this to Forex too? I applied to Forex, and within minutes, I was like, And I had to get myself calm. I had to get myself calm. But yeah, 137, 130, whatever.
So let's explain the booby trap again
Yes, let's
in
explain it.
case people missed it
Yeah,
before. The
yeah,
booby trap is what Sekou calls how you can set up for an automatic sell once it reaches whatever the price is that you want it to reach. So if you buy a stock at, let's say, $1,
$1, yes.
and you're like, okay, if it gets up to $1.50, I'm going to sell it. So instead of sitting there watching to see when it's going to hit $1.50, you could automatically schedule it to sell when it hits $1.50.
Then you
And
can go live your
you
life.
just set it and that's it. And you could go about your day.
You can go
And as
back
soon as it hits that $1.50,
it
it
lets
will sell.
it lets you know. It lets
Yes.
you know. Like,
Yes.
oh, you just made extra amount of money.
Yep.
Lovely.
Yes.
Lovely. So this,
So that's peaceful. That's more peace for me.
yeah, it's peaceful. And so for me, I now have 3 accounts: one forex and 2 stock markets. And I put booby traps on all three, and all three sold on the booby trap. I'm like, that's it. I'm booby trapping forever.
Wait, what's your 2 stocks?
My 2 stocks are Webull,
Uh-huh.
which I've been dealing with for a long time now. Webull, no, Webull.
Yeah.
I got Webull by getting money donated, not donated, but you share the app
Mm-hmm.
and they give you money.
Yes.
They give you stock, right?
Yes.
So I had like $200 of stock that I did not pay for. It's
Yes.
their money that they gave me, $200, right? And so that's that account. And then my financial advisor was like, "Why don't you trade with the money you already have in Charles Schwab?" And I was like, "What? I can do that?" It's like, "Yeah, you can do that." I was like,
Oh yeah.
"Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness." And so now I got three. I was like, "Wow."
Yeah, that makes perfect sense because you buy stock on Charles Schwab.
It makes perfect sense once you
Yeah.
think about it. But
I didn't think about it either.
but yeah, I was like, "Oh man." And then I called them expecting it to be like this long, arduous process. I like had to psych myself up. I was like, "All right, get ready," right? And it got on the phone, and the guy was like, "Yeah, you're ready." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" He's like, "Yeah, you're ready. You can trade." Like, I mean, it was already set up. Like, they didn't have to do anything. Had already been set up. I was like, "I can trade now?" He's like, "Yeah, you can trade now." I was like, "I could have traded for all this time before?" Like, "Yeah, you could have traded for all this time before." Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That made me think about something because our financial advisor gave me homework that I still haven't submitted to him yet. And what it's making me think about is telling the peoples when you work at whatever job you work at and they have um, retirement plans that you can sign up for, do that. Sign up for those plans because a lot of times companies match us up to a certain percentage. And what I want to stress is when you leave that company, do something with that money. Because this is what I'm faced with right now. This
Okay.
is my homework.
All right.
It's going back to all the companies that I worked with in the past.
Wow.
And getting my accounts rolled over into Charles Schwab.
Wow.
So, and it's not a lot of companies. It's 4 companies,
Right.
right? And 2 of those companies, I totally forgot that I had invested, that I had accounts because I wasn't there that long. So one company I was there for maybe, I don't know, 9 months, something like, no, maybe a year. And then another company, oh, actually it's 5 companies. Another company, I was only there for 9 months. I totally forgot that I was in the plan. And then the last company I worked at, I was only there for 3 weeks. But on day 1, I signed up for the investment plan. They had no waiting period. A lot of companies, you have to wait until you complete your probation period. But at the last company I was at, there was no waiting. You were eligible the first day, but you wouldn't get any matching dollars until you had been there for a year. Anyway, I forgot because I wasn't at those companies that long. I was focused on the companies that I had been at for a good while.
Right.
So going back and reaching the people that I need to reach, because I don't remember the names of the companies that the funds were invested in. I don't remember, so I don't have my account numbers. I don't.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
So I'm digging around because I get notices, but I just put them to the side.
Right.
Right. So I'm digging around looking for, these statements and then calling to find out, okay, send me the form so that I can roll these things over into this new account, into Charles Schwab. And it's important to roll over because if you take the money, you will be penalized heavily and you'll have to pay taxes on it. So I don't want a distribution to me. I want to roll it over into my Charles Schwab account. And so that's what Bygrave gave me as my homework assignment. I think in November. It is now February, and I still have not completed that assignment. And I have lots of excuses as to why. A lot of it's just frustration with the people that I'm dealing with at some of these companies.
Wow.
Who have not been very helpful.
Wow.
Or have even gotten back to me. How about that? Like you can't even get a person.
Right.
So one company in particular, I haven't been able to talk to anybody, but I did find a statement. So last week I called, it was with Mutual of America. So I got someone at Mutual of America. They sent me the rollover documents and I just need to complete them and so they could send the check directly to Charles Schwab. So
wow. That's fascinating.
It's important.
Yeah, it's fascinating that we all have money out here waiting for us.
Yes.
We all have money out here waiting for us. Is what I told Fee a long time ago. You got money out here waiting for you. You got money out here waiting for you. And you just got to open your mind because you just reminded me that I don't know. I haven't done that work. I haven't gone back into old companies and seeing, hey, you got anything? Just checking. Just checking. You got anything for me? Like, I don't know. Maybe I can find something too. Shoot.
And it's more bizarre for me because I was human resources. I was the one telling employees,
right,
you want to enroll in this, you want to do this, you want to do this. And at one point at one of the companies, people had to opt out of the plan. So we automatically would enroll you in the retirement plan. And if you didn't want it, you had to actually opt out of it.
Right.
Because psychologically, people don't opt out of things. That's why gym memberships do so well. You have a gym membership, you go for a little while, and then you stop going. But guess what? You're still paying that membership, right? Because you have not called or even gone online to cancel it.
Right.
Right. So from a psychological perspective, we know that people will not opt out.
Right.
So we would just automatically enroll people in our retirement plan. And that was fabulous. And we would we would start at 1.5% of their salary. And if they wanted to do more, then they would tell us to do more. But for the most part, people didn't do more. People did nothing.
Right.
They didn't enroll. We enrolled them. They didn't change their distribution above, 1.5% of their salary. I would say 9 out of the 10 people did nothing.
Wow.
So we have to be actively engaged because when I was talking to Bygrave about it, he was like, it's great that you enrolled in these things, but you're not adding to it. It's compounding because it's still actively in the market, but I haven't added to it. So it could be growing even more than it is now.
Right.
If I was giving it some energy.
Right. Right. Any little bit of energy.
Any little bit of energy.
Wow. That's incredible. And we talk about the same guy, same financial advisor, and we ought to talk. We ought to have a group, of people dealing with him because his advice to you is completely different than his advice to me. And we should talk about these things because I'm now hearing about the idea of reaching back through companies that I've previously had dealings with and seeing what there is. I don't know. There might be something. There might be something.
Absolutely.
Shoot. All right. All
All
right.
right.
All right, P. All right, Mel.
All right.
We got something. We got something. And I
Yes,
must say, we'll close it with now is better than perfect. Now
absolutely.
is better than perfect. And we will see you all next week. All right. See you later.
Peace.